Hi, I'm Rebecca, and this is my knitting podcast, Vlogtober, where I talk about knitting. I'm Rebecca. I'm from Silverdale, Washington. I have 5 kids. I have 2 dogs and a boyfriend. And right now I am holding back a lot of rage because I have done this 8 or 9 times now. I have already recorded an entire one of these. And then I started trauma dumping at the end of it, and I don't know how to edit my videos, and so I started talking about this like traumatic thing that happened to me like 12 years ago, and it had nothing to do with anything. I just started like dumping it all out there, and while it is a very interesting story, and while it is a very unique story that I don't think has ever happened to anybody else except in movies, probably not the place for this. Maybe I should start a trauma vlog. And people always tell me when they find out things that have happened to me, they're like, you should write a book. And it's like, who's gonna be my audience? People who want to read about my trauma? No, thank you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want those kind of people to read my life story. What are they gonna do with that information? What are they gonna do with that? You know what I mean? Like, there's no amazing ending. I didn't grow up to be famous. I grew up to be a knitter, and just not that interesting, actually. So can you imagine like watching a movie about that, like somebody overcoming like these like horrible things that happened to them, and then they just sat on their couch and knit all day at the end? No, man, that's boring. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with being boring. I'm okay with not having some kind of like ending where I become a millionaire, or, you know, a public speaker or something like that. Obviously, I'm not cut out for public speaking. We've already established that. I am a good writer. I could write a book. I could write a book about a lot of things, but I like knitting more than I like writing, which is really sad because I'm actually really good at that, and I'm not really great at knitting. People always tell me that I'm a good knitter and that I'm really talented, and I'm not talented at knitting at all. I've just worked at it really hard, and I still struggle through it, but here we are. I like it, and you don't have to be good at the things you like doing, right? Like, there's no rules. Okay, wow. So I live in Silverdale. I change that up every day. Sometimes I'm like Bremerton, sometimes I'm like Washington, Pacific Northwest. Specifically, I live in Silverdale, on the Kitsap Peninsula. So if you live in the Kitsap Peninsula and you want to be friends, hit me up. No weirdos. I am knitting the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along. The Stephen West Mystery Knit Along is what I live for, and I don't mean that lightly. I love knitting the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along. It's every time I'm in a near-death experience, which is often, I'm like, oh my gosh, what if I don't live to see the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along? That would be horrible. And then I have to be really careful in October to like stay alive, like no like driving in a car or anything, because I don't want to get in a car accident or something and not know, right? I want to know how it ends, and then I can get in a car and, you know, risk my life again and stuff. Not last May, but the May before last, I was in the emergency room for a condition that I have, and I've talked about before, but I didn't think I was going to live to see another day. And one of the thoughts, besides the fact that I wouldn't live to see my kids grow up, was that I would miss the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along, and it was shawlography, and that would have been a real bummer to miss, right? I know, I would have been so mad. My coffee, it's from Phoenix. My coffee's not from Phoenix. My coffee's from Costco. God knows where that comes from. It's actually Folgers. I don't know where that comes from. Probably like Florida. Anyway, you know, like I was gonna say Colombia, but honestly, what are the chances it's actually from Colombia? Probably little. My cup is from Arizona. Probably not, actually. It's probably made in China. I would look, but it's full. That's what you get on this vlog, okay, man? That's what happens. And honestly, like, I just am so tired of hearing myself talk now. It's been 40 minutes of me sitting here talking to myself and saying dumb things. So I'm kind of over it right now. So sorry for not being funny. Normally I am. I'm actually a really funny person, okay? People are always like, you should do stand-up. I would rather be dead. Thank you. I'd rather do anything than stand up, actually, because I'm not very good at like scripted jokes. Like if I write, you know, I think if I think of something funny to say and then I try to say it, it's not funny anymore because it's so my delivery is not funny. My brand of humor is off the cuff and deadpan. And that's just how I was made. So that's how it goes. Plus, I get uncomfortable when I say funny stuff and people start laughing, because a lot of times I didn't even mean to be funny. It just kind of came out that way. And the worst is like when people think that I'm funny and then they introduce me to someone else and they'll be like, this is my friend Rebecca. She's really funny. Say something funny, Rebecca. No. No, I don't keep a stash of jokes in my pocket. You know what I mean? Like, that'd be weird. I actually do know one joke that I tell really well, but it's really long and I won't be sharing it with you guys. It's a really long one. But it's worth it. Stephen West Mystery Knit Along, spoilers, clue 3. I am finished with clue 3, except for the optional clue. I've even woven in all of my ends. So here's clue 1. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it. I like this. I like this a lot. I like the I-cord braids. I think they're really creative. I am not putting tassels on the ends. If that's what happens, if that's how we close these up, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to sew them down. I'm going to, I will hang stuffed animals from this. Literally, like those little stuffed animal keychains, I will do that before I put tassels on. It's not happening. Clue 2. There you go. Oh, and I did the cables, but I can't show you the cables without showing you clue 3. So I did the I did my cables differently than he called for, but I like it better, and it was intentional. I like it better. That's why I did it. No regrets. Okay. Clue 3 were these long straps. I saw a yarn tail mention like suspender strips. I keep saying straps. You know they're gonna be straps, right? Something's gonna happen where you like tie it around your waist or overalls or something. But she said suspenders, and I thought that was really funny and possibly true. This is the first one I did, and it went really well. And I did the second one, and I cannot knit the same thing twice. It just isn't going to happen. The second one is always going to be catastrophic. And so here's the second one, and you will see that there are 4 cables instead of 5 because one got eaten at some point. See, we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then like, I don't know. It disappeared, okay? I think it was like down, I don't know what happened to it. It just disappeared. My stitch count was right. Everything was fine, and it just disappeared. And I don't care. I had to knit this like twice, like 2 entire times with all of the ripping out. Like I would make it like all here, and I'd realize I made a mistake, and I'd have to rip back and rip back and rip back and rip back. And it was so bad, and now I'm finished, and I'm just, it is what it is. I'm living with it. I don't care that I only have 4 cables. If that comes into play later, which I don't think it will, but if it does, then it does. And no one will notice except my mom, who will be like, what happened there? Because that's what my mom does. She's the only one who will let do that to me, because it's my mom. The colors are interesting. I don't know. What do you guys think? Don't tell me. Tell me what you guys think. I don't want to know what you guys think, because honestly, either you're gonna say, wow, I really love it, and I'm gonna be like, wow, thanks, or you're gonna be like, girl, that's bad, and I'm gonna have my feelings hurt. So it doesn't really matter. It's not like I'm gonna change it, right? So somebody's not gonna be like, that's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen, and I'm gonna be like, oh, you're right, I should do like pink and blue and white instead. No, it's not gonna happen. It is what it is. It is, and I'm not knitting it again. I don't care. I do not care at this point how this turns out. I couldn't care less. I'm just gonna knit it. I'm excited for clue 4. It's gonna be a ton of knitting. We all know that. And what I think is really funny is that knitters love knitting. I love knitting more than I love anything else in my entire life, and I still don't want to knit that 4th clue. Everybody's like, oh my god, it's so much knitting, and it's like, we like knitting. We like doing that, but I don't know about this kind of knitting. I don't know. I have so many other things I want to cast on right now. I don't even want to. It's fine. I'm gonna spend the day cleaning my house after I didn't even talk about the optional clue part. Because I have talked about that twice today, actually. I'm just so broken down today after like this whole vlogging experience today. Some days it's just not in me, okay? I think I'm gonna keep doing it often, but not on days that I just don't have a whole lot to talk about, I guess. I'm always gonna have knitting to talk about because I knit every day, all day. I gotta find my optional clue. I destroyed it when I was showing it before, so, you know, it's fine. Optional clue. What do we think? Okay, seriously, I don't know. The colors are very contrasty. I like the way the colors look together. I really do. And if you've watched my vlog, you know that I love these colors together more than anything. However, does that look good? Like, is it worth doing, I guess? To me, I like it. I like the way it looks. I don't hate it or anything. Does it add anything to the shawl? Not really. Not in my opinion. It really doesn't. In my particular case especially, I don't think it adds a whole lot. I think it just looks a little weird more than anything. Kind of like I made a mistake. Like a really bad, it reminds me of like when you first learn to embroider and then you try to embroider something but your stitches are all kind of wonky from a distance. That's on camera, that's what it looks like. It looks like I tried to sew an oval there and didn't know how because I struggle with hand-eye coordination. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm sorry I'm so low energy today. I actually had a lot of energy earlier and I was like, yay, and everything was going really great, and then it didn't suddenly. And so, all right, let's see, anything going on? I realized yesterday that I didn't go to jury duty. I got excused from jury duty on the basis of not having any friends, and that's probably the lamest thing that's ever happened to anybody ever. Because I have kids, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and they go to school, but I don't have any friends. So if something were to go wrong while I was in jury duty, nobody would be able to come get them. And I basically wrote that in my reason I needed an excuse form, and they were like, yeah, sure, sounds good, loser. Kind of a bummer. You know, I actually had the opportunity to have a local friend once, and I didn't want to be her friend because she didn't knit, and she had 8 kids and her whole life was about her kids, and I don't really want to hang out with her kids because I don't actually like children very much, and I don't like hanging out with people who don't knit very much. So that makes me sound really mean, and maybe it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I probably am really mean, but I really just don't like hanging out with other people's kids and doing kid things with them. I find children to be pretty obnoxious most of the time, and people are probably like, they're not probably, people are always like, why do you have 5 kids then? I don't think that you should have children because you like children, because people spend the vast majority of their life, if they're lucky, as adults, and you know, if you have kids just because you like babies, you're probably going to be pretty sad pretty soon when they're not babies anymore, because they don't stay that way forever, thankfully, for me. So I had 5 kids because I wanted to have adults to hang out with later. Obviously that doesn't always happen, but my mom had 7 kids and we're all really close and hang out as often as we can, so I kind of wanted that for myself. So I had a bunch of kids, and I'm putting in the effort now, and hopefully it'll pay off later when they're adults. You know, I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I don't like children. There's a couple kids I like, not very many. Kid that I like. I like Hazel from the Lefty Knitter podcast. That little kid, that one's cool. She's cooler than I am, though. I probably wouldn't want to hang out with her because she'd make me feel like a big dork. That's honestly true. You know how sometimes I like tell lies and then immediately correct them? No, man, she's cool. Too cool for me, actually. A Lefty Knitter podcast with Aquila. I would say her husband, Johnny Bow, but I don't know. Aquila's the star, so. What else am I talking? See, I get to 14 minutes in and things just have been derailing all day. You guys went and showed Susie a lot of love. She started the Vegas Golden Knits podcast. And I don't really get the joke. I think it has to do with a sports team, and I don't do sports. So good for her, though. Vegas Golden Knits. You guys went and subscribed to her and left her some really beautiful comments. And I really appreciate you guys doing that because I think that she really deserves a following because she's so fun. everybody deserves a following. It's not like she deserves it more than anybody else. She's just a really great person who knits cool things. Wow, okay. And then, God, I've been watching the same people. Nobody's putting out new stuff. I watched the Crafty Toads today. I watched, I don't know, Knit All the Yarn podcast. She only does them on Monday and Wednesday, though, which makes my Tuesdays pretty sad. I don't have anything else to say, guys. I'm just going to end this because this is just depressing at this point. And you guys deserve to watch something more fun. So go watch Vegas Golden Knits podcast if you have not. And I'll link it in the down bar because she's really great. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow, and hopefully it goes better for me, I guess. I don't know. I really appreciate you coming by. I really appreciate all of your comments. They mean the world to me. I cannot even tell you. And I will... Okay, bye.